What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Joe Smooth. I'm coming at you with a different kind of video today. Today, I've been wanting to do these again for a long time. As you guys may not know, from early on in my channel, I built myself up upon anime and manga more so than even the video games. Now I'm going to try and mix everything and do both. But here I am with a manga review, and we're going to be reviewing Jujutsu Kaisen chapters 139 through 141. Now today is March 8th, 2021. The chapter 141 came out yesterday, March 7th, 2021, at least for the official Viz translation, which is what I'm going to be using to review these. And yeah, I'm going to get right into it. So for context, we were coming off the tail of the Shibuya incident arc where Geto released curses throughout Japan and completely devastated the area. Basically Japan right now is a post-apocalyptic world. Now we have a bunch of things going on, like Gojo being sealed in politics regarding Gojo being labeled as an enemy. We have Yuji, his warrant to be executed has been the hold on it has been lifted, and now the execution is on. And we have politics within the Zenin family with Naobito dying and Naoya wanting to become the head of the clan, but due to certain clauses that happen within the clan's contract, within inner workings with the clan that Toji set up, Megami is actually going to be the clan leader unless Naoya kills him. Now, on 139, we have Yuji and Choso. Now, guys, I don't know if Yuji knows that Choso was, murdering civilians during the Shibuya incident. You guys remember during the fight with Choso, Jogo, Hanami. Yeah, Choso, Jogo, and Hanami versus Gojo in the train station. Hanami, Jogo, and Choso were butchering civilians. They were slaughtering civilians. It was a massacre down there. For no reason. They didn't even have to kill civilians for some of the times. They were just doing it. Well, it was to get to Gojo's head, to weaken his resolve, which ended up backfiring on them in some cases. But Choso was murdering civilians. And we know how Yuji is when it comes to civilians. We've seen how badly he destroyed the Grasshopper semi-grade 1 curse for killing humans. Before he killed him, Yuji's last words to this man were, I'm not sure if they were his last words or not, but I know Yuji specifically told him, "You ate people," before absolutely whooping this man. But as we know, Yuji's weird phenomenon that happens around him with manipulating people's memories affected even Choso. And Choso believes that Yuji is his little brother, to the point where he even forgave Yuji for killing his actual little brothers. So now we have Choso and Yuji here. Like I said, I don't know if Yuji knows what Choso did, but they're working together now, eliminating curses. Now, guys, just let me know in the comments below. Who do you think is a better duo? Yuji and Todo? From, the Kyoto incident arc? Yuji and Megumi? From the, Shibuya incident. Well, Yuji and Todo was also in the Shibuya incident as well during the latter part. But we have basically the 3 duos that Yuji's a part of. Yuji and Todo, which is the Kyoto incident Kyoto exchange and the tail end of the Shibuya incident. We have Yuji and Megami, which we had towards the middle of the arc, where they were fighting the inverse curse technique dude. Or we have Yuji and Choso here, who's the new dynamic duo, who's the most recent dynamic duo. Which one do you guys think is the best dynamic duo for Yuji? So here we have Yuji leading a bunch of curses to the slaughter, where Choso takes them out with just one good shot of convergent piercing blood. So these curses are probably grade 2 and lower because they show absolutely no signs of intelligence or intelligent thought. And the fact that Yuji's completely smoking them, he didn't even one-shot the semi-grade 1 curse, the Grasshopper guy. Granted, he stomped that man. Yuji destroyed the Grasshopper curse, but he didn't one-shot him. These guys, Yuji's able to one-shot with no problem. So I'd say they're grade 2 and lower, which shows how far Yuji came. Yuji's at least on par with a grade 1 sorcerer. He's been compared to Nanami, he's been compared to Kusakabe, who are other grade 1 sorcerers. And Yuji's been able to fight. Yuji's also relative to Todo, who's also a grade 1 sorcerer. And Yuji's able to fight on par with special grade sorcerer, curses. Now, as we know from the system, the ranking system, if you're X grade of sorcerer, you're expected to be able to fight curses that are of equal grade to you and stomp them easily. which means you should at the very least be able to contend with curses of the degree higher than you. And as we've seen, Yuji can consistently contend with special grade curses, starting all the way back from the Mahito fight. Granted, Mahito was like on the weaker end of special grade curses when he first appeared, but by the Shibuya incident arc, Mahito has grown considerably to be a formidable special grade. But this is not about the Shibuya incident arc. This is not about Mahito. This is about Yuji and Choso. So they're taking out curses easily. And now, speaking of the Shibuya incident arc, Choso, who's someone that fought Yuji and has beaten Yuji, has noted how Yuji improved. This is quoting Choso from the manga here. Incredible. He's already impressed me with his power when we fought. Since then, he's added finesse, fluid control of cursed energy along with unreal physical strength. He's now a demon god. Now, the reason why I think Yuji improved so much compared to his fight with Choso as opposed to now is because of the black flashes that he used against Mahito. Now, as we know, the black flash increases your understanding of cursed energy. Now, black flashes don't quite literally make you stronger. As a permanent boost. Like, the actual impact itself hits to 2.5 times the power of an ordinary physical attack that you do, or cursed energy attack, whatever kind of attack. It multiplies your AP, your attack potency, to the 2.5 power, which is an insane upgrade compared to just multiplying it by 2.5 times. But as we heard Chodo say, those who view, or it was either Chodo or the narrator, those who have experienced the black flash, their understanding of cursed energy is on a completely different scale from those who haven't experienced black flashes. To those who have experienced the black flash, manipulating your own cursed energy is as easy as breathing. Yuji has experienced he experienced 5 in total in the Hanami fight, 4 of them in a row, which he tied with Nanami's record. And then against Mahito, he used about 4, give or take. I don't know. So Yuji landed like around 9, 10, give or take, maybe 8, 9, 10-ish black flashes in his lifetime. This man's understanding of cursed energy is like on a completely different level than most people. Now here's the thing. Yuji has only learned about cursed energy a few months ago. Yuji's new to this. So I think that Yuji getting this, it doesn't skyrocket him above everyone else automatically yet. Rather, I think Yuji's understanding of cursed energy, while it is like majorly boosted by him using the black flashes, it's getting on the level of the masters. And I'll show you why I think that in a moment. Anyways, it's noted that Yuji's control over cursed energy is insane now. Well, is more fluid. He added finesse, and I believe that's because of the black flashes. Now, as they're talking, Naoya shows up, and he's talking about how he wants to kill Fushiguro. Of course, we know why he wants to do that. Yuji and Choso don't. And then, right away, we get some action. Naoya completely blitzes Yuji Itadori and Choso. Now, here's what's insane. We know that at the very least, lowball to the lowest extent, Yuji and Choso can perceive events moving at the speed of sound. We know this from Choso's piercing blood attack, which moves at the speed of sound, and Yuji being able to react to it, dodge it, etc, etc, etc. Now, they can also scale much higher than that due to Maki being able to react to a bullet point blank in their face and catching it, and Yuji being stated to be directly stronger than Maki. And we can even scale this even further by the Shibuya incident arc, during the fight with Mahito, Yuji was able to use black flashes seemingly at will. And we know to use a black flash, you have to manipulate and throw out your cursed energy within within 1/1,000,000th of a second of you landing a physical strike. And if Yuji could activate the black flash consciously, or at least semi-consciously, that means he can perceive things going at 1/1,000,000th of a second. Now with Yuji having perceptions at potentially reaction speed at 1/1,000,000th of a second, and not even being able to perceive Naoya, that's some scary speed that Naoya has. Granted, Naoya is the son of Naobito, and Naobito is known as the fastest Jujutsu sorcerer besides Gojo, because Gojo is Gojo. But Naoya, he might have inherited some of his father's speed, and he's blitzing Choso and Yuji right now. But in the midst of them fighting, guess who shows up? The man, the myth, the legend himself, Yuta Okotsu. Forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong. And as soon as Okotsu shows up, Yuji's like, who is that? Like, all 3 of them, Choso, Naoya, and Yuji, They sense him and they're like, yo, what is this? Like, it has the anime surprise reaction face. Yuji says, Gojo sensei? No, something creepier. That's already a sign. But we get more context on that later on. So, Yuta Okotsu shows up. And right away, we see that Yuta is here for the smoke. Yuta wants all of the smoke. This man woke up and chose violence. He pulls up by hopping off of the beam and completely crushing it just to flex his power. Right away, Naoya is like, wait, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. He's like, I want to capture and kill Itadori too. We're both on the same side here. So right away, he's trying to. He doesn't want any. He doesn't want any of Yuta smoke. Now, Choso, he's like, this is bad. That's Yuji's executioner. Now, question for me, to you guys: how does Choso know that Yuji's scheduled for execution if not even Yuji knows? Where did Choso get this information from? What has happened in the little bit of skip between the Shibuya incident arc and now? Anyways, everyone knows that Okotsu is a special grade sorcerer, and nobody wants to smoke with him. Now Choso's trying to think of a way out of this. He's like, we can't fight this guy. Like, if Yuji fights him, Yuji's gonna die. If I fight him, I'm gonna look bad in front of Yuji, and I don't want to do that. Now Choso might potentially be thinking that he could die during this confrontation too, because Yuta is. If you guys read the prequel manga to Jujutsu Kaisen, we already know how much of a beast Yuta was. And that was Yuta as a first year without as much control over his cursed energy. Now, we know that during last year's Kyoto Exchange Festival, Yuta by himself soloed the entire Kyoto team. Guess what, guys? The entire Kyoto team includes monsters like Todo and strong individuals like Noritoshi Kamo. Noritoshi, we've seen how strong he was. Now, granted, Todo and Noritoshi might have gotten stronger this year compared to last year. But the thing is, so has Okotsu, so has Yuta. This is bad. Anyways, things pop off real quick with Choso telling Yuji to run. So Yuji starts dipping. And we see that Yuta's keeping up with him. Now, Yuji makes a strange comment. He's saying he's fast, all while holding a drawn katana, as if he's surprised, as if the katana is supposed to slow Yuta down. Now, I'm not an expert on Japanese swords, but why would a katana slow you down? I know katanas have some weight to them, but the weight of a katana should be minuscule compared to what Jujutsu sorcerers can carry. Not only that, but during the death painting arc, I remember Yuji absolutely smoking, absolutely dusting the two cursed paintings in terms of speed, while he was carrying Nobara on his back, which is much heavier than the sword. Now, I know Nobara, females in anime seem to get mad when you talk about people's weight, but come on, Nobara, let's be real here. You're not lighter than the katana. Anyways, things start popping off with Choso versus Naoya and Yuji versus Yuta. Now, right away, we see that Naoya is overwhelming Choso with his speed. He notes that Choso has the Kamo family's unique inherited technique, which is a nice nod because, you know, the Zenin family is also one of the 4 great noble families, which includes the Kamo family. So he knows about the blood manipulation techniques. And Choso didn't just get like a branch technique. He inherited the full Kamo family blood manipulation. But he says, but you know, like we found out about in the flashback arc with Gojo's past, the good thing about having inherited techniques that are passed down through families is that there's guidelines for people to utilize them with. So it's like it's much less of free form and like winging it, and more of a structured thing that you can expand on. The downside is that it's basically almost public information that people know at this point, and this is true here as Naoya has quite a bit of knowledge on the blood manipulation. He immediately deduces that piercing blood is the only technique Choso has that's frightening, and even then, he won't give Choso the chance to charge up for it. So we have Choso saying, yeah, I don't need piercing. Like, he didn't specifically say I don't need piercing but to kill you, but he's like, you think you're gonna leave here alive after trying to hurt my little brother? On the flip side, we have Yuji and Yuta popping off. Now Yuji's showing his athleticism. Now, quick side note. Big shout outs to Gege Akutami or Gigi Akutami. I don't know how to pronounce the first name, but Akutami. Now, granted, the anime has been doing an amazing job. Not even amazing. Mappa has been doing a phenomenal job at recreating your work in fluid animation form. Like, I'm pretty sure you can watch what Mappa has been doing with your work, and you can be proud. But that does not discredit what you've been doing with your work for a moment. Akutame, your art, your paneling, your fight choreography, your overall structure of fights, they're amazing. Like, I can't get enough of Jujutsu Kaisen fights. Like, I've been in love with the Jujutsu Kaisen fights. The art, the battle paneling, everything about the fights and stuff. Of course, the story too. That's why I'm here reviewing it. But like, I'm specifically talking about this because the fights, because this is what's popping off in these chapters. Fights. So we have Yuji vaulting over a car, and Yuta, being the speed demon he is, the surprising speed demon, dashes around the car to cut Yuji off. But here Yuji shows his amazing athleticism by grabbing onto the car window, well, the broken end of the car window, you know, leading into like the door. And he holds his body, he completely stops his shifting body weight and vaults over the car in the opposite direction, making even Yuta believe that he sliced Yuji, but he's surprised by Yuji's speed. He knows that Yuji is just like Maki, a physical monster, and right as he says that, Yuji punches the car and sends it flying towards Yuta, and it actually hits Yuta and crashes onto him. So Yuji immediately dashes away, but always sees the car flying over and lands in front of Yuji, blocking the entrance. Granted, Yuji could easily get into the building by just jumping and busting down a wall or something like that, but you know, plot convenience. So Yuji's surprised that Okotsu Yuta is using like high power type moves on the level of Yuji himself. Sorry guys for me fumbling over my words a bit. This is completely unscripted and improvised, as you can probably tell. I'm probably going to be scripting these in the future, but since I'm covering 3 chapters in once, I'm just going off the dome. Now we find out that Yuta has an immense amount of curse energy. How immense? Well, his curse energy surpasses the level of Gojo. The difference is we found out some lore about Gojo's 6 eyes, other than being able to see and sensing from farther ranges than most people can. The 6 eyes also allows Gojo's curse energy manipulation to have an almost 0 stamina loss, infinitesimally close to 0. So Gojo has almost no stamina loss, which is why he can use things like the domain expansion more than once a day. What's insane is that even domain expansions, they said that Gojo can use them more than once a day, but they never say he can repeatedly spam them. So that just shows how much curse energy domain expansions take up. But here we note that Yuji and Yuta are complete opposites in terms of their fighting styles, and well, not fighting styles, in terms of how they're structured. So Yuji, he's a physical monster. We've known that since chapter 1, since episode 1. Yuji's always been like superhuman since like the beginning. He's only been getting stronger through his training and fighting with curse spirits, and then he's stacking his now top level, I shouldn't say top level, I guess, his now high level curse energy manipulation on top of his own physical strength, and Yuji's just a physical monster. He's ridiculous right now. Meanwhile, we have Yuta, who's physically weak. Yuta is physically weak, right? But the amount of curse energy he has to make up for that is insane, to the point where he's on the same level as, or even stronger than our protagonist Yuji Itadori. Now, here's the thing. Even though Yuji has experienced the Black Flash and his curse energy manipulation has gone to insane new heights, Yuta still outclasses him. This is why I say that Yuji, he didn't automatically jump to the top of everyone just because he did 9 Black Flashes over his entire Jujutsu career. Thing is, Yuji's still new to this. He's only a few months in. He's not even a year into being a Jujutsu sorcerer. Others have been doing this for years, or at least a year for like the first year students. They've been it's been said that they've been like aware of their Jujutsu sorcerer skills since before they were Jujutsu sorcerers. I remember Gojo saying that they unlocked their powers early, like in their toddler years, or like 5, 6, something like that. Anyways, Yuta, he's also not like that, believe it or not. He's actually, well, he's only had his powers he's always had his powers innately, but he's only been able to consciously use them for about a year now, which we saw in the flashback. But his level of curse energy, complete insanity. He's able to match up with Yuji. Now they're fighting, and Yuji's like, yo, this guy's crazy. He starts having a flashback to what Todo told him. Todo being like a masterful user of curse energy himself, even before Todo first experienced the Black Flash during the Shibuya incident. Which makes me wonder what Todo's potential is now. Todo hadn't experienced the Black Flash, yet he had all that knowledge of curse energy. What is our man Todo like now? Anyways, Yuta is able to use curse energy augmentation constantly, 24/7, to the point where he's shrouded in a massive aura of curse energy, him and his blade as one. Despite that, Yuji's like, I still have to fight this guy. I can't die here yet. There's still things I have to do. Fight continues with Yuji and Yuta fighting, and Yuji figuring that he needs to get rid of Yuta's sword, because Yuta's katana is doing the real damage here. Now, we've seen how strong that katana was in the flashback, if it's the same katana, which I believe it is. But Yuji's like, usually I don't have to worry about blades because I can reinforce my body with curse energy. But this time, this is different. I can't fight this guy like normally. If I try to do that, I'll get cut to shreds. So Yuji, he does a big brain play. Because after running from Yuta and spotting a combat knife within the car, Yuji picks up that knife and blocks Yuta's sword with it. Now, it's just a regular hunter's knife or combat knife or whatever. And Yuta's like, if it's not a cursed tool, then like, what are you doing? I don't have to fear it. But then Yuji is fighting on par and knocking back Yuta's sword with this regular knife. Here's the thing. Yuji's imbuing the knife with his cursed energy. Then we get a flashback to Gojo talking about Yuji's cursed energy manipulation. Now, this training flashback, I don't know when it is exactly. I just know it has to be before the Kyoto exchange arc, because that's when Yuji was training with Gojo to use cursed energy. So yeah, I believe this is after the Jogo fight, the Gojo versus Jogo fight, where Yuji was told that he was going to train with Gojo specifically for the rest of the time until the Kyoto exchange, specifically just on cursed energy and fighting. So this has to be during that time, I believe. I could be wrong though, but he's telling Yuji that, you know, sometimes using weapons is good, but if you overcompensate with the weapon and you let your cursed energy manipulation lack, then it'll be no good. So I'm not gonna show you how to use cursed energy with the blades, with cursed tools yet. I'm just gonna show you how to do it on your own. However, Yuji's attempting it the first time on his own here. Now, I don't believe that this is BS. I don't believe that this is just plot that Yuji's able to do this, specifically because of what we know before about Yuji regarding Black Flashes. The Black Flashes increase your proficiency with cursed energy to the point where it's as natural as breathing. So the fact that Yuji's able to perform high-level techniques manipulating generic cursed energy like this, it's not too far-fetched. And here's the thing. Yuji's not a master at it, and we've seen that during the course of this fight. Like, Yuji's not a just because he can do it, just because his cursed energy understanding is high, doesn't mean he can automatically do anything. Like, I like how this whole thing of Yuji's growth and learning is structured, is real. So we see Yuji's getting pushed back, but Yuta's like, you're focusing too much on the katana. And then he kicks Yuji. Now, keep in mind, Yuji just noted before that Yuta's whole body is enveloped with tons and tons of immense, dense cursed energy. Any blow he lands could be lethal. So while Yuji was focusing on the katana specifically, because, you know, you think of a katana, that's a weapon. You're going to get killed if it hits you. Yuta just kicks him, and that kick does some serious damage to Yuji. We know Yuji eats up damage easily. We know Yuji can take a lot of punishment and keep going, right? So Yuji gets kicked, but he tries to block again. But his focus on cursed energy is broken from the blow. And the katana gets cut. I mean, the knife gets cut, and he gets cut. Now, here's the thing. Yuji's an opportunist. I don't think that Yuji did this on purpose, but I think Yuji improvised in the fact that once he saw the katana go down, he stomped it into the ground and then kicked it with a soccer kick to break it. Of course, showing his immense strength. Now, Yuji's like, he broke it. Well, of course, he's Gojo Sensei's pupil. Now, what's significant about Yuji being able to break Yuta's sword? Yuta's sword is more than likely a cursed tool, right? And that curse tool, of course, curse tools are naturally imbued with curse energy, so they're more durable than regular blades and weapons. Not only that, Yuta's weapon was enhanced by his own immense curse energy, as we've just seen. So Yuta's enhancing this already enhanced durability weapon, and Yuji just breaks it with a kick. Like, Yuji is a monster. So Yuji's like, alright, my guts haven't spilled out, and we're both unarmed. If it's just a hand-to-hand fight, even if I'm more injured than Yuta, I'm confident I can take just about anyone in a hand-to-hand fight. Boom. Right as Yuji's about to do that, guess who pops up? Rika. What's going on here? We're just playing, Rika. And then now here's what's insane. Rika is so strong that she's holding down Yuji to the point where Yuji can't even move. And we know how immense Yuji is in terms of strength. That just goes to show what crazy level Rika is. Now, Rika's like hugging and holding Yuji down to the point where he can't move. And Yuta's like, hold him still for me. Boom! Stabs Yuji with the broken blade. You don't need an attack blade to kill someone. We see Yuji get stabbed. The blood starts bubbling out at his mouth. And then he says, sorry, Itadori. Then that awakens Sukuna. Guess what's gonna happen soon? We're gonna have Sukuna versus Rika? We're gonna have the King of Curses versus the Queen of Curses. Now, how will this go? We see that Sukuna has a certain amount of fingers right now. 15. That's about 75% of his power. And he's gonna go against another special grade sorcerer, which is gonna be Yuta. Yuta has a special grade curse in the form of Rika. Rika is the Queen of Curses. Now, she's pretty hyped up. We've seen what she was able to do to even Geto. And Geto was insane, being another special grade sorcerer in himself. Now, between the King of Curses and the Queen of Curses, who do you have your bets on? Normally, if it was 100%, I'd say Sukuna for sure. But here's the thing, Sukuna's not at 100%. Sukuna's at 75%. Meanwhile, Yuta, he himself can fight alongside Rika. So, the way the fight goes could go either way. And we also have to take into account the fact that special grade sorcerers are quite literally built different. Special grade curses are already strong. We've seen how strong special grade curses are. But special grade sorcerers are expected to be able to stomp out people on the level of special grade curses. We've seen Gojo, we've seen Geto, and we've seen Yuta. The only person we haven't seen so far is Tsukumo. But we already know from inference that she should at least be able to scrap with Geto due to her being able to due to her wanting to fight him. But that's just like kind of, we don't know for sure. But so far we've seen 3 special grade sorcerers in action. And we've seen how immense they are compared to even special grade curses. So the King of Curses, Sukuna, at 75% versus a slightly nerfed Yuta with no blade, but a fully powered Rika, that would be a crazy fight. What do you guys think? Who do you have your money on? Do you have your money on Sukuna? Do you have your money on Rika? Or do you have your money on something inconclusive happening and the fight not actually having a conclusion? Meanwhile, on the other end here, we have Naoya and Choso. Choso seems to have big trouble with Naoya. Now, Naoya seems to have inherited his father Nobito's inherited curse technique. He doesn't have the 10 shadows, of course, which he wouldn't have, as it's a big deal that Megami has the 10 shadows technique. Anyways, that technique, it explains sort of how fast. Well, the technique, as far as we know, the curse technique doesn't enhance your speed. So we don't know if like he has another technique layered in, like if he has a certain like variation of the frame trap technique that Nobito has, because Nobito's speed has been described as his natural speed. It hasn't been described as like his curse technique enhancing his speed. But Choso and Yuji seem to think that he is using a curse technique to enhance his speed. So if he has both aspects, that would be insane. But Choso's having a hard time. But Choso decides to fight physical now, and he's using Flowing Red Scale stack. Now we've seen the amount of amps that Flowing Red Scale gives to you. So this should be a crazy fight. This should be a crazy fight. Now, just like that, guys, I've covered chapters 139 through 141. I haven't like listed them out chapter by chapter. It's one continuous flowing story arc. And specifically this segment is like one continuous thing. So we're just going through that. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I've been trying to give my thoughts on the thing. I've just been trying not to just recap. I've been trying to give my thoughts and everything on the chapter and what's going on in the events and how it links to other things in the series as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This one was kind of off the dome and freeform. I'm gonna be probably scripting them and writing them out so they're more structured and less rambly next time. And also it'll be like shorter chapters, so I mean one chapter, so it won't be as long. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, it's your boy Joe Smooth out. Stay smooth and peace.